Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Just after the game against Burnley, it's a win for Man United, 3-2. A last minute, I think stoppage time penalty decided it. Bruno scoring the penalty after missing the one last time, so it ended on a good note. You could look at the score 3-2 and you think it would have been a close game, but the amount of chances we missed. Just look at that graphic. We had 26 total shots. In the first half, we had 15 shots towards goal. Only 6 shots were on target, but it's all about poor finishing because if we had good finishing, this game would have been done by the first half. I think we would have had 3-0 by the first half. There were very big chances that were missed in this game, and it presents a problem that we have had all along. We keep missing our chances. We keep missing our chances. We are creating so many chances, but we are not converting as much as we should be. So there were, you look at all the stats, we were better than Burnley in every way as expected, but we kept giving them a chance to get back in the game. Some of the goals that they scored were just ridiculous because it was lapses in defense that made them score the goals. One of the goals, the first goal was a lapse by Delete, Shaw, and Dalot. They weren't tracking their players, and one of the players was able to score. I think it's Foster. So the second goal was a mistake by Bainde. He should have caught the ball, but it's either you catch the ball or you take it out of danger. But you can't just palm it straight back to the striker, who finished well. So the same problems persist, but you could tell there was a different energy to the game. The only bad thing about the game is that Cunha came out injured in the first half. I think it was looked like a hamstring injury, so that is something that you think it was the only negative of the game. The rest of the game, you could see the players fighting. They were creating chances after chance after chance after chance, but there's still an issue in midfield. There's a big issue in midfield. The way we are cut open in midfield remains to be an issue. The first half we didn't have that many issues because we played well. We should have taken our chances. If you don't take your chances, you give the other team chances to come back. If you look at the defensive contributions, they had to. You look at the tackles; they had to make so many tackles. We kept playing the game in their half. In fact, the possession was almost 61% for the whole game. So we had most of the possession and we had most of the chances, but we didn't take enough chance of them. The duels, the problem defensively, we lost so many duels. That's going to be an issue. The manner in which we are losing duels, we are losing far too many duels, and that is not good because it shows there's a serious issue in defensively. And if you can lose that many duels against Burnley, you know it's going to be a problematic season, especially against the other teams. Every game seems we don't seem to kill off teams. We have so many chances. We had so many chances against Arsenal. We had so many chances in the first half against Fulham. We had many chances in this game, but our finishing needs work. We are so poor in finishing, and it's costing us game. Hopefully, the sharpness will continue to improve as the season goes by, because that's the only thing you can hope for. If you can continue improving our sharpness, then there's something to look forward to. The other things that were interesting is that Dogu didn't get a minute today, so it seems Ruben was not happy with him in the Grimsby game. He was one of the players that was substituted in the halftime. So today it had to be Ahmad on the right and Dalot on the left, and the whole game that's how it went. So it's Ruben Amorim might not be impressed by that Dogu performance. I don't think Dalot is the solution at left wing back because he doesn't. Yes, he had an assist, which is good, which is impressive, but he keeps losing concentration, especially defensively, and that's big problem because most of the crosses that were coming in from his side was a result of him losing concentration. In fact, that even the goal that was scored, there was one goal that was scored, but it was ruled out for offside. It was a slight offside. You look at the law was looking straight at the line. He's looking at the player, and instead of setting an offside trap, he's just standing there, and it almost became a goal because luckily by an inch or something we were able to have that goal ruled out. Anyway, it's a good thing for the team to win, especially going into the international window. That was going to be a big problem. You can look at the storylines that would have come out of that game if we had not won. There were too many storylines that would have come out of that game, especially something to do with the sacking of Ruben Amorim, something to do with the Mino. So I'm glad that Mino got game time. That was also something positive. In the second half, Mino replaced Mount at halftime and played the whole second half. I think the first half was much better than the second half, but he still had some good movements, and we can only hope that he sees that if he continues to fight for his position, he can continue getting game time. One of the things that was a problem was that Ruben Amorim had indicated earlier that Mino is fighting for his position with Bruno, but you could see they can also play together in this game. Bruno and Mino came in and played together. At first Mino was playing with Casemiro, but after some time Casemiro was replaced and Bruno had to go back. So it was a Bruno Mino midfield, and he did well considering the circumstances. So it's not a case that Bruno has to be substituted in order for Mino to play, and that will give him confidence that even with Bruno in the pitch, they can play together. He's been asking for a loan. He keeps insisting that he wants to go on loan for minutes. One of the reasons I think this is happening is because of Thomas Tuchel. He said that he's observing. He said he's not picking Mount because of the minutes. He's also not picking because Mount because of the fitness. He's not been playing that much over the last year. But you can see my Mount is on form and he deserves at least a call up. You can look at Mino. Mino was in the last Euros, so since then his game has been stopped start since his injury. He's not been having a lot of game time. So one of the reasons of not being picked was because of the minutes that he's getting. So that is going to be a concern for mine, and that's why he's pushing for a loan. But you get to see that he gets game time in this game. He also got game time in the Grimsby game. So it might just convince him that here and there he'll get game time and he'll be able to build up of his fitness and hopefully be picked up for England, because it's strange that Jordan Henderson had to be picked while Meno was left behind. You look at the cases of players like Maguire, there was also the same case. They need to play in order to be picked. Although it seems Tuchel is not really sold on Maguire, which is strange because you need such a player in the tournament. He's been very good for England in tournaments. Anyway, that is neither here or there. When the players are not picked, they get to rest for 2 weeks before the next game. We start our After the international break, we start with very tough games. We have back-to-back games against Man City and Chelsea, so those two games are going to be very telling for the way the season progresses. The thing is, without winning this game, it could have gone into those games with a lot of pressure. But once we win this game, we have 4 points out of 9. Not as much as we would have loved to have, but at least when you have 4 points, you are within range of the top team. So you keep that range just close, and you do keep on building. As you keep on building your fitnesses and winning games, it will serve you well, because at the end of the day, you want to qualify for Europe and you want to be within a position where we can strike when the team is fit enough. So that was going to be one of the things that we were looking in this game. In terms of the possession, as you can see, we had 62% possession. Burnley had 38%. We made a total of 500 passes to the 309. So it was a game that we largely dominated from start to finish, uh, except for the mistake, which is something that is concerning. Every single week when we play teams in the Premier League, we tend to make a lot of mistakes. Or even in the in League Two, the Grimsby game, there's a big problem in terms of the mistakes. The individual mistakes that we make are far too many. Either the goalkeepers make a mistake, either the defenders make a mistake, either in midfield. So it's an issue in as much as we are attacking. The way I have seen the quality of the Premier League this season, most games are going to be won by small margins. So if you are going to make mistakes every single game, is going to be difficult. You look at this game, it was a game that looked so easy, especially from the first half. Based on 15 chances, having 15 chances on target, you had four corners. They had no corner. You look at the entire domination in terms of the chances, big chances created. If you take those chances, then you don't make any errors, you have a very good chance of winning that game. You look at teams like Spurs, the two games they have won. You look at Arsenal, the two games they have won. They have won on very small margins where they win and they defend resolutely. Especially look at Spurs against Man City. Scored 2 goals, and defended completely. There was no chance for scoring from Man City. So I'm looking at that game. If Chelsea will have chances, Man City will have chances against us. So we need to be able to be compact, because if we are not, it doesn't matter if we score a goal or two, they'll still find their way back. So that is going to be one of the issues that we are going to face going forward. How can we eradicate these small mistakes? Because we are making far too many mistakes. Even though we have, you could look at the graph, you have so many shots. We have 26 shots on target in total for the whole game. 6 shots were on target to their 3. They scored 2 after having 3 shots on target. We had 19 chances created. That's why it's the big talking point. 19 chances created to their 2. So if you have 19 chances created, you are scoring far less chances for you to only score 3. We have 39 touches in the opposition box. So there was always going to be a case of, if you don't take your chances, you invite the other team to give them confidence to come back. So if with every goal we scored, we would have killed their confidence. With every goal we scored, we killed their confidence, and maybe you come out of that game with enough goals. But we kept giving them hope. We kept giving them hope because they could see they get some chances. And you look at a team like Burnley. Like before the game, we talked about how set pieces are going to be their major source of goals, and today they also scored from a set piece. So what that tells you is that we are having a problem of concentration. The players are not concentrating enough, because if you look at the goals, there were 4 free players, Man United players in the box who are not marking anyone. So that is a case of concentration. You need to be marking man on man. One player close, take the first player that wins the duel takes out 4 players. So if one player on a throw in wins a duel and takes out 4 players, it's a problem of concentration. If only the team can concentrate more, then there can be more wins than losses in this season. We need more wins, and one of the things is that we need the defense to concentrate more. Anyway, the game was good. As you can see, I'm not as angry as against Grimsby. I remember we had a rant against Grimsby. It was a case of disappointment, because losing to Grimsby is something that you never expected to be talking about, but it happened, and now it's behind us. You can look at, we are now back in the league. We have got the first 3 points of the season. So that's something positive and something we can build on, and let's hope that we can continue building on this in this win after the transfer window. Until then, we'll keep track of the last 2 days of the transfer window. Some news that have come in, that Rasmus Højlund is on his way to Napoli on 44 million euros buy option, but 6 million euros in loan fee. So that is around 50 million euros if the buy option is going to be activated. What happens is, the buy option can only be activated if Napoli qualify for the Champions League. By the way they have strengthened, and from last season's results, I think Napoli will qualify for the Champions League. So Rasmus is as good as a Napoli player. You look at Garnacho. Garnacho was in Stamford Bridge Stadium. He's completing his move. That is also another move that has been completed for 40 million pounds with a 10% sell-on clause. The case of Anthony yesterday was supposed to be going to Real Betis, but they cancelled the deal at the final minute. Apparently, Anthony wants his severance package. So we'll keep abreast of such news, and hopefully we'll know if we can get a midfielder and complete the Saint Lamens deal by Monday's deadline. Hopefully we can sign a midfielder, because going into this season without a midfielder is going to give us a really long season, because there's a serious need of a defensive midfielder who's very combative. Hopefully we'll see what we can do by then, and bring you any news that come up. Have a good weekend.